So it's really bloody hard to believe that the P20 Pro is fast approaching its first birthday. This is the wee bugger that made me fall in love with Huawei smartphones all over again after several years of devices that are best summed up by one not quite word: meh. And as we brace ourselves for the release of the no doubt super sexy Huawei P30 early in 2019, I thought now would be a great time to return to the P20 Pro and use it once again as my full-time personal handset to see if any of that sparkle has faded. So here is my updated long-term review of the Huawei P20 Pro almost a year after its launch. Don't forget, for more reviews and comparisons and everything you need to know on the latest and greatest mobile tech, to subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, the P20 Pro is still a stunning smartphone in 2019. That gorgeous gradient design on the Twilight model is yet to be beaten, and with sleek new versions like the Morpho Aurora models recently emerging, this mobile will never not be gorgeous. Huawei's handset is right up there in the looks department with Sony's Xperia XZ3, another mobile that really gets us all hot and bothered. And thankfully the P20 Pro seems really rugged too. That shiny rear shows no sign of scratches or scuffs even after all this time. Now, if the P30 could just introduce some sort of anti-dust grime-busting coating so we wouldn't have to buff it every 5 seconds, we'd all be happier than a fat kid in a half-price pasty shop. But what about the rest of the P20 Pro experience? Well, no complaints there either, although we are still waiting patiently on that EMUI version 9 and Android Pie update. You can download and install the beta version manually if you've rooted your phone, but the official rollout has begun in some countries, and we're hoping that the UK update will be done in the next month or so. Until that happens, the P20 Pro is sadly still stuck on EMUI version 8 and Android Oreo, although to be honest, I'm not exactly really missing the latest software from the Mate 20 series. None of those updates can really be classed as essential, they're definitely more nice to have, so the P20 Pro definitely already has the best bits, such as the nifty one-handed mode, and of course the excellent fingerprint sensor gestures as well to get rid of that navigation dock. And of course not forgetting that excellent facial recognition, which just works, even when you're a bleary-eyed mess waking up in a dark room at 5:45. Even my own wife barely recognises me in this state, but the P20 Pro does not struggle one bit. Huawei's EMUI overlay is definitely one of my favourites out there, beating the likes of ColorOS and MIUI by miles, which is just one of the reasons why I enjoy returning to the P20 Pro between my review handsets so much. However, my P20 Pro hasn't had any Android security updates past about July 2018 as of this moment right now, so definitely don't be going on any dodgy sites or anything. The rest of the hardware is still solid, 12 months on as well. For one, there's that 6.1-inch OLED screen. On paper it might not be as sharp as some rivals, but your Netflix binge sessions will still look bloody amazing. Punchy colours and plenty of detail is what we're talking about here. And compared with some recent screen notches, this little bugger up here is actually not too bad. And while there's sadly no support for micro SD memory cards, I definitely haven't struggled for storage space thanks to the generous 128 gigs packed inside of here. Even after downloading tons of movies, songs, all the rest of it, I have not struggled for space. So what about the performance? Well, good news there too, kiddies. The P20 Pro definitely holds up well, even though the Kirin 970 chipset stuffed inside is well over a year old now. Everyday running is nice and smooth, helped along by the generous 6 gigs of RAM. And if you're after a bit of gaming on the go, then no worries there either. Even demanding titles still play with a very respectable frame rate. And since its launch, Huawei's GPU Turbo update has also come to the P20 Pro, along with the Game Suite app. So PubG Mobile plays with an even smoother frame rate than ever before. Stick it on those top detail levels, you'll still get great performance. And if this GPU Turbo stuff is just a bunch full gibberish to you, then go check out my full feature on what it is to see what I'm banging on about. One of the other reasons I love Huawei's phone so much is the incredible battery life. The P20 Pro always lasts 2 days between charges, even when I'm constantly using the thing. Only massive Skype and PUBG sessions threaten to kill it sooner, and even then it always survives a full day. I'm sure there's no wireless charging support unlike the Mate 20 series, but honestly, who really gives a f***? Oh no, so much effort. But what really helps the P20 Pro to stand apart from most other premium mobiles out there is the excellent tri-lens rear camera. Coupled with Huawei's software smarts, the photo and video results are eye-poppingly awesome. I've done a full comparison with the P20 Pro and the Mate 20 Pro so you can see exactly how it stacks up to the more recent Huawei phone, and I also threw in a bit of Pixel 3 action as well so you can see how it stacks up against one of the best snappers out there. And unsurprisingly, the P20 Pro does hold its own very well indeed. Although the Mate 20 Pro offers even greater versatility thanks to the ultra-wide-angle secondary lens, the P20 Pro still beats it for the amount of fine detail crammed into everyday snaps. Night shots are still bright and beautiful with the excellent long exposure mode, while the telephoto lens is perfect for grabbing up-close snaps of distant subjects. Frankly, there are very few smartphones that can produce such high quality photos. And this phone is an absolute godsend still if you're a parent, capturing crisp shots of your kids even when they're bopping all over the place. Lesser phones would definitely produce a blurry mess, but here you get great results almost every time. Sadly, while the video results are generally strong, the P20 Pro still can't do image stabilisation at that 4K level, something that the Mate 20 Pro accomplishes with gusto. So you'll definitely need to stand as still as possible when shooting at Ultra HD. So there you have it. Huawei's Mate 20 Pro may be the superior device right now thanks to its updated specs and features, but the P20 Pro is still fantastic and boasts many of the best bits found in that later handset. And now that we're into 2019, you'll probably start finding some really nice P20 Pro deals as well, especially with the P30 series on the horizon. So are you tempted by the P20 Pro, or maybe you've got one and you absolutely love it to bits? Definitely let us know in the comments down below. And don't be afraid to tell us what you think if you absolutely hate the P20 Pro and you think I'm a baldy fool who doesn't know what he's banging on about. You're not the only one. But if you do like these videos, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell to be the first to see whenever new content goes live. And have yourselves a lovely day, people. Love you, bye.